dugsiga boardingka iyo maalinlaha ah ee Amano Boarding and Day School.
Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be on you, my Form 4 dear students. You remember, inshallah, we will continue our history lessons. In the previous chapter 9, we were talking about the conflict in the Middle East. So that chapter was finished. I've sent you some questions in the Amano online website, so you should be doing that one. So today we are going to start a new chapter. The last chapter in the textbook, it's about Qad, report about Qad. You know about this one. When you hear it, you know more about this one. So this one is talking about generally Qad. Qad has different names. Sometimes it's called Qad, KH, sometimes QAT. It has different spellings. But generally, we will be talking about what the Qad is, how it is used, and it is impacted. So the main topic that we will focus more is the effects of Qad. It's the effects of Qad. This is chapter 1. So the objectives of our lesson today is to understand and comprehend what Qad is, how it is used, and it is impacted. This at first impacted. So the first topic that we are going to talk about today is report about Qad or Qad. So Qad is a flowering plant native to the Horn of Africa. So Qad is generally, native to Horn of Africa. The moment you hear Qad, you realize it is common in Horn of Africa and the Arabian Peninsula. When we say Arabian Peninsula, we are talking about Yemen. So Qad contains two, stimulants. What makes Qad the people to consume a lot? The stimulation, that excitement, that euphoria is generally because of two contents. These two contents are called catenon and catene. Catenon and catene. So these two stimulants are those responsible for the excitement. When the person is chewing, he feels happy. Sometimes it's also euphoria and excitement. So these are the two chemicals responsible of that, which is said to cause the excitement. Among communities from areas where the plant is native, Qad chewing has a history as a social custom. So dating back to thousands of years. So some people, they even say the Qad existed, thousands of years ago. So the history and the exact time the Qad was introduced into the world is not known 100%, but they say thousands of years ago even Qad was chewed. And it is mostly used as a social custom when people are gathering together, even the communities of East Africa, and at the same time Yemen, when they are going to get during the marriage, during the conflict resolution, Qad is used mostly for those social customs and gatherings. Okay, as you can see from here, this is how Qad looks like, but you have to understand Qad is very different from one another. Okay, they have also different names, and it depends on the countries that is cultivated and grown, and it also depends on the climate and the type of seed being used and the different fertilizers. So this is Qad, and this is also another one. Now we will talk about what's called the legality of Qad. Is it legal or is it illegal? It depends on where the Qad is available. For example, in some countries, like for example East Africa, our country, for example Somaliland, Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Yemen, Qad is legal and it's allowed. This sale, this consumption, it's allowed. Although in our country Somaliland, it's now illegal. It's regarded as a contraband because of the COVID-19. But generally, after maybe 20 days later, it's going to be legal. So, but we are talking about generally. Some countries, like for example, the Western countries, USA, Britain, Canada, it is illegal. They regard it as a dependent substance, which is under their law illegal. If someone is found to be trading or doing, he will be sent to the prison and might be fined. So the World Health Organization, WHO, classified it in 1980 as a drug, as a as a substance, as a drug of abuse. Drug abuse. They are illegal. That can produce psychological dependence. The psychological dependence, you cannot abstain from it. The moment you miss it, you feel for it. You feel for it and you cannot abstain from it. So the legality of qad varies by region. In many countries, qad is illegal. In many countries, under more general, including those countries, for example, Canada, Germany, the United Kingdom, and United States. Just these are examples. Even Asia, most of the countries in Asia, it's also illegal. By contrast, in opposite, the production, sale, and consumption are legal in the nations where this use is tradition of those cultures. Like what? Djibouti, for example, Kenya, Uganda, Ethiopia, Somalia, Somaliland, and Yemen. So, for example, those countries here, qad is legal. It is sale, it is protection, and it is, chewing is allowed. But some countries it is not allowed. Why did some countries refuse? Because they believe that it can cause psychological dependence, psychological problems. It can also cause withdrawal problems that we shall see in the coming slides. Okay. What does it look like? We have just seen how it looks like. The leaves and parts of the qad plant, either fresh or dried, they have a mild aroma and an astringent, faintly sweet taste. For some people, mostly we can say, it is not like it's not sweet, but it's very bitter. But some of them might be depending on the chemicals in it. But most of them they don't taste sweet. Okay, how is it used? Qad leaves can be chewed fresh. Some people, what do? They chew it fresh, but may also be preserved by wrapping freshly picked qad in banana leaves and then use it dry. So generally, the qad cannot live, mostly more than 1 day, more than 4 days. When it's cut down, if it is not preserved, it cannot long more than 48 hours, 2 days. So mostly it is, we're talking about the fresh one, but sometimes they dry it and they make it like a powder. And after that they sell it and they chew it. Okay, now let us go to the major problems with qad. What are the major problems? In short, the major problems related with qad are mentioned here for us. What are they? Family problems, economic problems, social problems, and ethical problems. These are generally what we are familiar with it. The people who chew qad, most of the time they face family problems. The rate of divorce is more for them. And it is not only in Somaliland, but in the other parties, like, our neighboring countries, Somalia, Djibouti, Ethiopia. So there's always a family problem, mostly if that person, is consuming a lot of qad and this income is less, it's going to cause a problem for the family. You see many people, in our courts complaining about, many mothers complaining about their husbands, about, the qad. They're saying whatever he gets, nothing reaches us, he consumes all of it. So the family problem caused by qad is absolutely a lot. And the other one is economic problems. In terms of how many millions of dollars Somaliland loses with qad. More than $300 million every year we spend on qad. That's really a lot of money. That's absolutely a lot of money. And in terms of personal, the person who chews qad, minimum he can spend like, some of them $3 up to, $50. So imagine someone who was earning like $10, if you spend this $7 on qad, and these accessories, there is nothing left for the family. For that reason, it is absolutely causing a loss of economy for the individuals, for the community, as well as for the country. It also causes social problems. It can also cause what's called ethical problems. As you have seen, in terms of behavior, Most of the people, who extremely chewy qad, they don't have a very good etiquette. And you could simply see also that nowadays, imagine when in our country, Somaliland, the qad was stopped because of the COVID-19. You could see those who had been dependent on qad, posting something online that is absolutely absurd. Some of them, saying something which is not, ethical, which is out of our religion. In terms of etiquette, the qad is absolutely causing a very serious problem. So now let us go again to in detail about the effects, about the impact of qad. Effects of qad. There is no safe level of drug use. There is no safe level of there is no safe level of drug use. Use of any drug always carries some risky. It is important to be careful when taking any type of drug. It is absolutely forbidden for any person to take any kind of drug, be qad or other. So qad affects everyone differently. The way the qad affects people are very different. There are some people who the moment they touch and it goes into their bloodstream, they feel that excitement. Some people, it makes them talk a lot. Some people, it makes them remain silent. Other way, it depends on the size, weight, and health of that person. It depends on whether the person is used to taking it, why the other drugs are taken around the same time, because some people, they take the qad with other drugs. And it depends also the amount taken, the amount the person takes. So how it's going to affect is absolutely caused this, the size and weight. Okay, so for example, the amount, someone who is like 100 kg and someone who is like 50 kg, the amount that they take and that can make them stimulate is very different. It's very different. Okay. Short-term effects. What are the short-term effects of qad? The first one is increased talkativeness. That person talks a lot. They feel energetic. They sometimes feel alertness, and they say improved concentration. Some people, when they chew it, they say we are reading. They read a lot. They write a lot. They say we understand a lot. But that's only for some. Fast heartbeat and breathing. qad also leads to the heartbeat to be more, and at the same time it can cause breathing problems. The breathing rate is also higher compared to the healthy normal person. A slightly higher temperature and blood pressure. The BP also is a little bit higher compared to the normal BP. The temperature is also a little bit higher. You see those who are chewing sweating because they feel that energy. Reduced appetite. Most of the chewers, they like appetite. They don't eat a lot. They don't eat a lot. That's short-term effects. What about, the long-term effects? The long-term effects, they include what? If the person already have a mental problem, that will worse it, will get worse. If somebody was suffering from some kind of mental issue, if that person chews qad, that deteriorates. If it was 1+, it may go to 5+, because qad is causing that problem. The other one is, sleep-related issues. The other one is also liver diseases. It can also lead to fertility problems. Imagine some people, even they cannot, impotence, what's called impotence and low sperm count. So this is fertility problem. How many, a lot of men have been told that they cannot they cannot impregnate women because of the qad, so they should stop that. The doctor is, some men, they are faced with that. For that reason, some people even, they lose the manhood. That power of manhood is lost because of qad, impotence. And the sperm count also is reduced. The other one is also digestive problem. It's digestive problem like constipation. Those who chew qad a lot and don't take, for example, other kind of food is like ravage, it's difficult for them, to defecate. Sore, inflamed mouth, okay, and teeth, red teeth, psychological dependence also. They cannot live without it. The time, of chewing qad, when it reaches, they are running. They are running. Like 1 o'clock, you will see it's like a psychiatric place. Mouth cancer, it also can lead to mouth cancer. So generally, we will continue from there, inshallah. That's for all today. This teacher Abdullahi wishing you a blessed, happy Mubarak. Inshallah, there will be an assignment also about this topic, and the previous topic is in the Aman online website. So write your username, your password, and do it only at once. Take care, stay at home, stay safe. Wassalamu alaikum.